you very much, Hugh, and good morning and welcome to everyone here today. A very special welcome to all those who've come from outside the city, from outside the country. I hope that you will enjoy your time here in our city and that you will have time to enjoy some of the favors that the city can give to you. Welcome also to those city officials. There's also members of the Water and Sanitation Committee, some city councillors here as well today, and I welcome you all. So welcome to a city that has a very clear grasp of the challenge of supplying water to its citizens. You know, we have over a century of experience, but sometimes each generation has to learn those lessons again. So we know, for instance, that the citizens thank God for the rain, but they blame the politicians for the drought. But of course there's a lesson in that of course we have to husband and well manage the resources that nature gives to us. And you know, we must always learn the lesson in these perceptions that people have. And we're here located at the end of a peninsula in a drought-stressed region and have to learn how to make water supply work. The previous generations relied almost entirely on water supply from rivers and dams, having to go even further and further away from the city to find additional resources as the city grew. So we have today a water distribution system of some 11,000 kilometers of pipelines, and according to the board there, 679,000 metered customer service that are serviced. Give you an idea of the size of the system that we are dealing with. During 2016 to 2018, we endured a major drought, about which the next speaker will tell you more, but which drove a significant reconsideration of our water supply system. And it is now just 6 years since Cape Town was at one of its worst points in that drought. And it may be easy to forget those desperate times and to think that it's all simply behind us and that we can get on with our lives as before. But the drought brought fundamental shifts that remain with us. And it's not only the government that shifted gear, but our public as well. The drought brought the focus on two key objectives. Firstly, not to run out of water, but secondly, not to run out of money. And the former was, I think, very well understood by the citizens of Cape Town, both personal and corporate. And we still see how people change their habits on water usage and how we work together to ensure that we did not get to that drastic point that was termed day zero. The second objective was less well understood, but just as necessary if we were to succeed, and became the pivot of much dissension, some of which is also projected into the present. But we do not want to repeat those times, and that requires us to ensure that our water supply systems are more robust into the future. We've made great strides on the demand side of the water balance. Before the drought, gross water consumption was over 200 litres per person per day, and during the peak of the drought, our collective efforts brought it down to around 125 litres per person per day. I think it is, however, evident that we are uncomfortable with that low usage. Gross demand has increased each year since the drought and now stands at around 160 litres per person per day, but still the lowest of any city in the country. And we've set a target to keep it below 190 litres per person per day. The greater difficulty is that our population has continued to grow rapidly. As you heard earlier, the recent census tells us that Cape Town now has a population of 4.8 million people and has grown by 1 million people in the past decade. So today, we have an additional 500,000 people more than we had during that drought period. And we can consider that I anticipate that our population is going to grow by a further 1 million people over the next decade. And we know that on the supply side of water management, we cannot continue to rely almost exclusively on surface water supply schemes from dams and rivers to achieve an adequate supply and to find resilience with future climate systems, which remain very uncertain. We have to strongly diversify our supply system to include a range of sources, including groundwater, desalination of seawater, and much greater water reuse. And we currently have a program where we are driving projects in all of those spheres of water supply. But bringing the discussion closer to today's workshop, we also have to manage our water distribution system better. The city has some 11,000 kilometers of water distribution pipelines of greatly varying condition. Management of the network came into great focus during the drought. We greatly increased the number of pressure zones in the network and were thus able to significantly manage the water pressures. This was our most significant control mechanism to bring down the overall water usage. And in the past few years, the city has significantly increased its rate of pipe replacement at a significant cost. But it may be that we have to increase this pipe replacement at an even higher rate into the future if we are to keep ahead of an ever deteriorating network. And because this matters, and because the costs are tremendous, it's important that we manage the network on the best possible data. So we are embarking on a meter replacement program over the next decade that will see some 660,000 AMI meters installed. So I won't now try to list all the benefits of this installation, because that's the role of people in today's workshop who have a deeper insight into these matters. But let us just point to the issues of more accurate and timely data, geolocation providing better data for modeling of networks and network losses, better pinpointing of losses and timeous information to consumers when there are significant changes in consumption patterns. So one key issue that got us through the recent drought was consumer trust in the information that we gave them. And that is crucial, and it's an aspect that we have to continue to build on if we are to continue to get cooperation in the paying of bills and the actions that we need to take in any emergency. So thank you for listening to me, and I trust that the workshop information today will help you with all your own water management. Thank you very much.